Hi everyone, today's video is about getting unstuck. What a lot of people don't know is when you accelerate tech companies, when you grow them really fast, more often than not, it is a turnaround of the company. It's completely changing the culture. It's completely changing the speed at which people both perceive time and act. And it's a lot of times it's not an easy shift. And there are those of you that may feel like they're stuck, or maybe you're not growing fast enough. Maybe you don't know you're stuck, but somewhere deep down you do know you're stuck. If that's you, this video is for you. So, what do? How do you actually get your organization to move at a completely different speed? Well, what most founders know that are, that have done it many, many times, they know that it usually starts with themselves. How they communicate with themselves, how they influence themselves, how they get themselves unstuck dictates how they get their team unstuck, how they get their prospects unstuck, their market unstuck, the world unstuck, and everybody, all of them moving faster in the same direction consistently. So, how do we do that? Well, there's a really simple way that you can think about these things because there's usually something missing when you're in this mode of being, stuck. And so, what is that framework? What is the way that people think through these things? We're going to make it really simple for you here today. There's three things. The first one is to decide. Decide not to be stuck anymore. Now, why would you do that? Well, a lot of times what we've seen is founders will come in, they'll want to grow their companies. They won't know what they want to grow to. They won't know when they want to grow to those levels. And you just can't operate this way. Like public companies have to say exactly what they're going to hit, and they have to hit that number. Otherwise, their earnings go down, their stock, goes down. People start losing trust in them, start losing confidence in them. And if you aren't able to hit your own goals and set your own goals and hit them and exceed them consistently, you'll start losing trust with yourself. And so to rebuild that trust, you got to just decide. You got to decide. And just so you know, not choosing to decide is also deciding that you're not going to hit a goal. And so you got to decide what that goal is. Put a line in the sand. And some people, they get really riled up and maybe they're low on the D and the DISC score, if you know what that is. If not, definitely recommend looking it up. And they have to get stressed to decide, so they just get all riled up and excited and like, oh my God, we're going to do this thing. I'm going to set a goal at $1 billion. And that's great. Like dreaming big is really great. But when you're setting a goal, you not only need that really high goal that gets you motivated, that gets you out of the drudgery of the day to day, but you also need a goal that you know you're going to hit, right? Something not too far outside your comfort zone, and not in your comfort zone, but also not crazy. Not like you got to upend everything to be able to get there, because we don't want to throw the good out with the bad when we're doing these turnarounds. So what's that goal that you can hit? What's that target in your mind that you can see every day, every night as you're walking through the streets, maybe when you're getting a cup of coffee, writing some code, talking to your team? What's that goal that you can see for yourself and decide that that's your goal? Okay, maybe for some of you, it's a couple million. Maybe it's 3 million, 4 million. I want to hit 5 million by the end of the year. I want to hit 10 million by the end of the year. Whatever that is that's slightly outside your comfort zone, decide. That's the first step. The second step is to commit. Now, a lot of people will do one or the other. They'll decide to do something, but then they won't make the sacrifice necessary to be able to get there. And that gets pretty dangerous. And then they don't hit the goal, and they have lost trust with themselves. People around them have lost trust with them. Their confidence is going down. We don't want that happening to you. So how do we make sure that that doesn't happen? That commitment to the goal where there's no other option but to hit that goal. And you don't have this feeling of, tension. A lot of times when you set a goal, you become at tension, you're tense, and we want to make sure you're in tension, you're going through it, you understand that what's necessary to hit that goal, and you calmly walk towards that destination, knowing that there's sacrifices required to be able to get there. You're going to have to change some things that you do on a daily basis. You're going to have to keep some things that you don't want to do on a daily basis. And so committing with all your soul, all your heart to what you have decided to do is absolutely key. The last step in this is to act. Okay, you're going to decide, you're going to commit, you're going to act. Now, how do you act? A lot of people, because they're in that frenzy state when they decided, they're in the super frenzy state when they're committed, they start doing everything. They go left and they go right. They start writing the stuff and they start doing the things and they start shipping like crazy. And while all that's good, at times doing the right thing at the right time is way more important than working crazy hard and not sleeping and doing all this stuff that actually sets you back in the long term. And so your action must be effective action. Your action must be the things that are getting you closer to the goal. And your action must be reviewed through a feedback loop, through metrics, through management, through assessment of yourself, through assessment of what you've sacrificed, through assessment of whether you're still committed and you still decided what your goal is going to be. Through that assessment, you will make sure that you're acting in the right way and you're taking effective action, not just action for the sake of action. A lot of people that say that they don't procrastinate, they're like super busy people. They're just doing stuff all the time. But being really busy is also a form of procrastination because busy is synonymous with disorganization. A busy person is usually disorganized. A consistent, reliable, committed person that's decided a goal is a little more carefree. There's a levity. There's a brevity in the way they speak. There's a lightness to them. I don't know if you've seen some people that are like this. They're just, they're hitting crazy goals, but they're just really, casual about it. Yeah, we did 10 million last year. We're going to do about 15 this year. And you hear them and they have the same lightness as some other people that say things really casually. But for them, you can usually tell that there's a depth there, that they're actually going to do what they're going to do. And we have a lot of these perceptive signals where you can see in someone's face, in someone's body language, once you're trained or once you have enough exposure to these types of people, if they're going to get something done or not, if they're going to take the right action to be able to get there consistently. And they've committed many, many times, and they've decided many, many times they've exceeded their own expectations. You sense something different when you're around those people. And I love being around these people. We do quarterly events all the time with the founders in our program, and you can always tell the people that have exceeded their goals. And it's really fun. There's a different energy that comes out when you're around these people. And so if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you might not be sure if you're stuck, maybe you're growing a little too slow, use these 3 steps. It'll completely change the way, you feel not just about the world and about your effect on the world, but how you feel about yourself. And I think that's really important. I'm sure you probably do as well. And so decide, commit, act, do those 3 things. It'll completely change the way you approach every task, every goal. And it's very simple. And the best systems are usually really simple. But the effect of them, the asymmetries, are always usually simple. The ones that get the outsized returns. But the effect of them is profound. And so I hope you're having a great week wherever you're watching this in the world. I'm glad you took some time for yourself to learn something, to maybe engage in something that you need to bring back up. And if you're ever interested in joining a group of founders that are deciding, committing, acting in the right way consistently and exceeding their goals all the time, there should be a link in the comments for you. But for the rest of you, make a commitment today if you want to change your life. If you want to do a turnaround that's going to get you to that next level. If you feel like you're ready for that next level, make that commitment. Make the decision. Commit. Act. Let's go. Cheers.